All right, YouTube, what is good? It's your boy Rebel back with another video, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Distilled Sulphur 2 Guff. Sulphur 2 is an uncensored video generation model based on LTX 2.3, supporting both text-to-video and image-to-video natively, as well as all the other LTX 2.3 formats. A little bit about the model. This isn't a standard weight sum merge, it is a scaled merge. What that means is that it holds onto prompt instructions and temporal consistency significantly better than the base LTX model. If you're doing like professional cinematic text to video or animating an existing image with image to video, this is going to be a massive upgrade. So firstly, it understands human kinesics. Kinesics is the study of body movement as a form of nonverbal communication. So anything that's like a posture or a gesture, a facial expression, eye behavior, any other physical movements that will convey meaning alongside or instead of a spoken language. It also excels in understanding micro expressions, getting completely rid of the robotic stiffness that you see in the base model. It also handles advanced 3D camera control, like deep shot pans and tracking shots without warping your backgrounds. Sulphur 2 leans heavily into that unretouched kind of photorealistic aesthetic. You get like those real skin textures, the natural lighting and film grain. And because it utilizes the native multimodal architecture, all of your audio is generated in the exact same pass. So the first thing you're going to need to do to get the model is you are going to need to head to the link in the description and open up the README file here. So this README is just a set of instructions for you to follow to install the models. Now, this model that I'm going to be showcasing you guys runs on a completely different node set than the regular LTX workflow. So this is not going to be, you know, all of the standard nodes that come with LTX. You're going to be using a node set from the creator SM. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know about this contributor and you've probably set up some custom nodes from him before if you've watched my videos and followed along. It is fairly simple to get these nodes installed, and we will do that right now just so I can show you how to do that. So you will go to the README, which is in my low VRAM workflows under the Sulphur 2 folder. And in that README, you're going to see this line here. This is a git clone line to clone the LTX2 nodes. So you're going to right click and copy this, and then you're going to go to your custom node directory and you're going to click the address bar and you're going to type CMD and you're going to hit enter. Now this is going to bring you into your custom node directory in a command prompt. And then you're just going to right click to paste that git clone command and you're going to hit enter to run the command. I'm not going to do that because I already have the folder, so I don't need to do that. But then after that is done, you can go into the folder and open up another command prompt. And then you're going to come down to this command and you're going to right click this one. And then you're going to pull back up your command prompt that we have opened inside the LTX2 nodes. And you're going to right click to paste that command and then hit enter. And it's going to run your requirements. And after that is finished, you can X out of the command prompt and you are done with the nodes. So after you have installed the custom nodes, you can then download your models. Now, this link here is to the models. So you're going to have to download and use these models specifically. You cannot use any interchangeable models from the original LTX 2.3. You cannot use any of the Guff files. You cannot use any of the text encoders. You have to use this setup. So you're going to need this connector -1.1, the Gemma 3-12B ITQATQ4 Guff, which is your text encoder right here. And then you are going to need the Sulphur Distilled Q6 Guff. So this connectors file is going to go in your checkpoints folder. I am not sure why, but that is where it needs to be stored for the workflow to run and register it. And then your Gemma encoder and your Sulphur Distilled Guff are going to go in your Guff folder. So this is in models. This is Guff, the Guff folder, not the UNet and not the text encoder folder. You need to store them in the Guff folder. If you do not have one, Just create a new folder, name it Guff, exactly like this, and then store your 2 files in there, and you will be good to go. And then you will need to download the Distilled Audio VAE and the Distilled Video VAE. You can also use the BF16 audio and video VAEs from Keyjai's setup. I noticed that those are interchangeable, but these are the only interchangeable files. One more thing that I would like to just add to this so that you guys can have an easier time. I suggest running these bat flags in your bat file. After you have downloaded all the files, you can come back to the workflow link and download the workflow, and then you can punch it into Comfy and it will look something like this. So starting on the left, we have our model loader, which is hosting our distilled sulfur guff. We are using the offload and the sampling mode is distilled. I do have a LoRa loader here, but I have it bypassed just because it's not applicable to use the Sulphur LoRa in this workflow. The Sulphur LoRa is specifically for if you want to use the vanilla LTX, but you don't have the VRAM to run the Sulphur model, you can use the Sulphur LoRa in place. It's arguably not as good, but it will get the job done. Here we have our latent node, which I've just closed out so that we have our width, height, our total frame count, and then our frame rate in separate nodes just for ease of access. Here I have a load image node. You can unbypass this and do a image to video. I have just been playing around with text to video. Down here we have our VAE nodes hosting the video and audio VAE. I am using the BF16 like I said before, so if you don't want to use the distilled version of these VAEs, you are welcome to use the regular LTX video and audio VAEs, and they will work. Down here, we have our clip node hosting the Guff Gemma encoder and the connector 1.1 safe tensors. Like I said before, this connector should be in your checkpoints folder, and this clip should be in your Guff folder. The VAEs just go in the VAE. Over to the right here, we have our prompt encoding node. I have the enhance prompt off because this text encoder does not support prompt enhancement, and I did not want to add that to the workflow and bog it down, so I have save embedding off. But if you would like to keep that on to speed up like a rerun if you get a bad generation, you're welcome to do that. Over here we have our K sampler running our 8-step distilled count. We have our seed, our control for the seed, and then we have everything underneath does not really need to be touched. And down here, I have the spatial upscaler loaded in here, but it is not available for use yet. And then over here, we have our decoding nodes with our create video node. And then I've thrown in the frame interpolation just to smooth out your outputs because 24 frames per second is really not a lot. If you don't want to use this, you're welcome to mute it. It's just going to be more beneficial if you can handle it for the VRAM. Your videos will be tenfold way better. So that accounts for the workflow. I did generate one example for you guys to see. It's just a natural prompt. There's nothing, you know, out of the ordinary to it, but it'll give you an idea of the motion and realism available. So as you can see, not only is the motion like kind of cinematic, but she gives very realistic blinks. The motion of her shoulders and head roll are very realistic. This is only a 3-second clip, so there's not really much context. That being said, you can kind of get a good idea for what the model's capable of. You can use this for pretty much any use case that you would like on top of, you know, whatever other back-end use cases are available. So if you would like to see some higher rated examples, they will be right here in the workflows folder description here. So, but all right, guys, that's all I'm going to have for you today. Just wanted to get this workflow to you guys and the Guff because I know a ton of people have been talking about this, and I actually got, you know, a few hundred downloads on Civet alone. And so I could tell that this model was going to be a very hot topic and it was going to generate some buzz because the use case obviously is going to appeal to a lot of people. And then the fact that it's just a normal LTX model on top of that kind of benefits everybody all around. So if you enjoyed what you saw today, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving me a comment on the video to let me know how I did. You can also like the video. It genuinely helps the channel tremendously. So go ahead and download this workflow, get this model running, guys, and enjoy an uncensored LTX 2.3. All right, thank you guys. Have a nice day. Bye.